Yo, what's going on, guys? CultOfMush back at it with another video, and in this video, I want to give you guys my reaction to Oculus Rift being priced at $599, as well as the Oculus Rift system requirements that have come out. Now, I myself, just to give you guys a bit of background information, am not too excited for virtual reality. I think it'll be cool, I think it has a place in gaming for the future, but I think with everything, the initial wave of whatever comes out is always going to be a bit wonky, and it's not going to be perfect, and that's understandable. The price is going to be high and the availability of the software isn't going to be that high, meaning that there's not going to be that many games. Or at least that many games that really get me off my seat, get me want to buy Oculus Rift. But yes, even when I saw that it was $599, that was just like the nail on the coffin. It was like, man, no way am I getting this thing on day one. I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna see what games come out, I'm gonna see in the future if they drop the price or bundle in a few games or anything like that. But the price kind of goes hand in hand with the system requirements. I mean, let's go over them right now. For the GPU, you're going to need an NVIDIA GTX 970 or an AMD R9 290 equivalent or greater. For CPU, you're looking at an Intel Core i5 4590 equivalent or greater. And for RAM, you're looking at 8 gigs of RAM, and those are the most important things. Keep in mind, this is recommended settings, so chances are, if you want the optimal experience out of Oculus, you're going to need something like a 980 Ti and an i7 and maybe even 12 or 16 gigs of RAM. Because if you're expecting me to believe that I could play one of the more intensive Oculus games with a GTX 970 and get really good frame rates, I just don't believe that. I don't. So chances are, if you're the kind of person that's looking to pick up Oculus with these system requirements, you're probably the kind of person with a GTX 980 Ti or with an Intel Core i7, meaning you probably have a lot of disposable income because your PC's expensive as all hell. So while yes, that $599 price tag may sting to you, it's not going to be as bad considering the type of consumer that Oculus is currently targeting. But even then, people with a GTX 980 Ti and an i7, are you going to drop $600 for an Oculus? I mean, look at the software lineup. Is there any title that really makes you get up out of your seat and say, oh my god, I need to have Oculus day one? It's really cool to be there day one and get a new product day one and be part of this wave of rush. And that's cool and all, and I love doing that with the PlayStation 4. I got that day one, but the PS4 was only $400. Oculus is going to be $600. You know what else was $600? The PlayStation 3, and that completely flopped initially. But then again, things like the iPhone were really expensive, but the iPhone is a cell phone and that's on a plan. So there's a lot of things to take into account, but the biggest thing about Oculus is the fact that you're going to need a high-end gaming PC as well as the VR kit. So as far as Oculus being a mainstream device where it's a device that a lot of families have in their home, I don't think that's going to be the case, because the majority of families don't have a $1,500 PC lying around, and I highly doubt that most families are going to go and buy a $1,500 PC so they can get Oculus and play the few games that are going to be on it initially. I just don't think a lot of people are going to do that. Right now, Oculus Rift really targets a small niche audience. I don't think the common PC gamer is going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it, and I'm one of the more hardcore PC gamers. The price tag is a problem, but there's more problems to it than just that. The fact of these system requirements. If you were to tell me with the GTX 970 that I would be able to play every game for like the next 2 or 3 years with Oculus and get really good frame rates, alright, then maybe I can justify dropping the $600. But you know, these system requirements are very high. Chances are, if you do want to play the higher end games, you're going to need something even better. And I just don't want to deal with that. I'm still loving playing games the traditional way. I don't need VR to enhance my gaming experience. I'm having a fine time playing games like The Witcher 3, playing Metal Gear Solid 5. To me, VR isn't essential right now for my gaming experience. Maybe in the future it will be, when I see that killer app that's only a VR game. But right now, I just don't see that, and that's a huge problem. There is no killer app for the Oculus. Whenever you release a new platform, there has to be a killer app, especially a device like this. Now, I know Oculus is also going to be used for a lot of non-gaming apps, but to gamers, is it going to be the Eve game? I don't really think so. I don't think that's a game that's going to get waves upon waves of people to go out and buy this thing. Added to the fact, the problem with Oculus is, if a family wants the virtual reality experience, they're just gonna go buy a PS4 and the eventual PlayStation VR. Because Sony has said that they're not gonna price the PSVR pretty ridiculously, which is crazy to think, because I believe the PSVR is gonna have its own unit that's gonna have its own CPU and whatnot, so it probably should be more expensive, but apparently Sony's just gonna sell their VR machine at a loss so they can get it out to more people, which is pretty good. But again, even with Sony's PlayStation VR, I don't see that killer app. Yeah, there's Gran Turismo. I don't really care about Gran Turismo. So right now, I just don't think VR is gonna be the type of thing where a lot of people are gonna buy it. I think there's gonna be a niche audience that is gonna buy it, And then eventually, if there are killer apps, if there's amazing games, if there's amazing experiences outside of games, I think that's when people are going to jump onto the VR bandwagon. But even then, with these kinds of system requirements, I think people would rather just go buy a PlayStation 4 and get PlayStation VR. Sony's going to do a bundle with both of them for like $700 or $800. I think people would just get that over buying even a $1,000 PC and getting Oculus Rift, which is north of $1,500, and I just think that's a ridiculous price for anybody to pay to get a gaming experience or any kind of an experience. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you excited about Oculus? Are you going to be picking it up, or do you think it's just a gimmick and it'll fade out? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.